to Menopause Morph, your time to change. We're here to help you thrive through your menopause, bringing you experts in many fields to help you from perimenopause to menopause and beyond to become the strong, vibrant woman nature intended you to be. Hosted by Pauline McCarthy of the Pearls of Pauline, pearls of wisdom, compassion, and joy.
Hello, welcome to this week's Menopause Morph, your time to change. Last week we had the lovely Eileen Hemnes, who was sharing lots of information about essential oils and how they can help us through our menopause and perimenopause. Sadly, we ran out of time, so we had to split it into two parts. So today we are so lucky to get the second part, in which she will talk about how essential oils can help us improve our memory and also how to get rid of some toxins in our environment, which are really causing us a lot of problems during menopause. So without much ado, here's the second part. So help me with my memory loss here.
So first of all, you have to think, why do you have the memory loss? Like, what is causing it? It's some about estrogen buildup. And if you have xenoestrogens, which is outside mimickers of the estrogen.
Like a lot of things we get in plastics and cosmetics and things like that.
Yes, plastics, cosmetics, like these pans with Teflon.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many things you get these
I have got rid of all Teflon in my house.
Good.
But when it comes to cosmetics, and body products, what are the things that people should be looking, on the list of ingredients, what are the big scary ones that we should be looking out for that can mimic estrogen and cause, our hormonal imbalance? What are these ingredients?
Yeah, the most known is parabens.
Paraben. And would it say paraben on the list of ingredients?
Yeah, it has like methyl paraben, or like it has different names and ends with parabens. So those are all parabens. Also sulfates, so like sodium lauryl sulfate and phthalates. So there are some different things that you should be looking for. There are some apps and websites where you can look up different ingredients and different products and be guided to the safest ones.
My son who educated me about reading the list of ingredients on things. His first one was MSG, monosodium glutamate. Mama, read all the instructions. This is a very bad thing. And then a friend was telling me that in deodorants there is aluminium.
Oh yeah.
And when I got rid of all the Teflon from my kitchen, I also got rid of aluminium pots. And all aluminium, all Teflon from my kitchen. But my friend was saying, but you're putting aluminium into your body with your deodorant. I'm like, no way. And she said, reading, and I think it was aluminium sulfate or something like that. And it's like, wow. And I think most people, they don't realize that there's aluminium in deodorant. Not deodorant is different. What do you call it when it stops perspiration? It's antiperspirant. Antiperspirant. So aluminium is in the antiperspirant, but not in. So you can get a deodorant which doesn't have that. The deodorant is only hiding the smell, but the antiperspirant is stopping you sweat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the aluminium is actually being absorbed into your system, and it's a really powerful toxin, isn't it?
It is. So that's really something to make sure of. Just clean out everything, the skincare products, everything. It needs to be switched out if you want to stop these bad effects from it, because it's really affecting our health.
Well, that's why I've been using this coconut oil instead of a lot of beauty products, shelf-bought beauty products. So is there an essential oil that we could use as a deodorant? You ever come across that?
Yeah, I know many people making their own deodorant, either with just different essential oils, but also making with coconut oil and some other powders to make it a little bit drier, and mixing essential oils into that. So you can look at both. And tea tree oil would be a good one for that. And also sandalwood. I know a lot of people use that. Just mix it with water and apply it under the armpits, and it really, really helps for most people, but we're all different, so maybe you have to try some different blends and things to find what works for you.
Okay. Hopefully at the end of our talk, we'll give people instructions how to get in contact with you, and maybe they can contact you and you can give them personal remedies for different things, because each of us have a different, as you were saying, we have to discover what it is what our problem is and then find a solution for that problem. So it's not a case of like one thing fits everybody. Everybody had to take their own situation into account.
Exactly. So that's why, what I do is helping finding what people need for their specific situation, and also to be open to mix and match and try what works for them.
Yeah. I think a lot of times people hear a little bit about some kind of oil or technique or something, and they don't really know that much about it, and they go out and they buy something from the shop and they're not using it properly, and then they don't get the effect from it that they were expecting, and then they give it and say, oh, that was a lot of rubbish and that was a waste of money, throw it in the bin. But they're not, because they're not either reading the instructions on the packet, or there are no instructions on the packet. It's like, so I think it would be, we're really lucky to have somebody like you that we can ask these questions from.
Yeah.
As I get older, I realise, ask for help. Ask for help. Don't be embarrassed to ask for help.
Yeah, I'm lucky to be learning that in my age. So it's really good to ask for help. Yeah.
And then this is my memory loss kicking in. Did we speak about memory loss once for memory loss? You mentioned. So yeah, I think I interrupted you and we didn't go on about that. So which one specifically? Or did you say it and I've just forgotten?
Yeah, we did go into the memory loss a little bit on what to avoid, so like the xenoestrogens. But yeah, and we didn't go into which oils you can use for that, because there are some oils to help with memory loss, and it's even being used, different essential oils for people like outside of menopause that struggles with the same thing, because it's a typical thing to struggle with. So, for example, frankincense, which we talked about, is really good for that. And also thyme oil and patchouli. And also there's been a lot of research done on rosemary. It helps, even people who are studying or needs to remember things for tests. That's something like rosemary is being used a lot for that. So that would also be good to use for type of memory loss.
And I think when we were talking about the stress, you were mentioning clary sage that would help with memory loss. Is that right?
Yes.
Or is that hot flush? Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, because of the estrogen imbalances, the clary sage or the blend clary calm would support that.
Yeah, and for my notes here, I think you mentioned something before we started recording this, geranium.
Yes.
Is that a good one for memory loss?
Yes. It's kind of good for a lot of things around these imbalances with estrogen and supporting the liver and kind of the whole system. It's a really, really good oil to use daily.
And is that used topically on the skin as well?
Yes. So I would just rub it over the heart area or over the liver area. So
my grandmother, she used to grow geranium. She had them all over the house. And she had a great memory. she never forgot anything. If I hadn't done my homework or did my chores, she would remember it. So do you think working with geraniums, and because she was watering them every day, and she used to talk to them and touch their leaves and stuff. So maybe she was picking up some of this geranium oil by touching the leaves.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a good one. Being close to plants in general, it's healing. It helps you to work better. Being closer to nature, talk to plants, and we're lucky to have the oils because it's like the essence of the plant on a bottle, and you could just take one drop and get it right there and then. But if you even combine it with being in nature and touching the trees and plants, then you get even better effect.
I remember one time with touching plants, it reminds me of a time I was in Canada, first time I went to Canada, and I loved painting trees, and I love trees in general. It's one of my things. And in Canada they have all these maple trees and many different kinds, and I was just in awe, and I just was up and I was touching the bark. Some have the different smooth textures and some are rough, and it was in Toronto. People were walking by looking at me as if like, who is this crazy woman touching the trees and talking to them? I had a wonderful time in Canada. I mean, the Canadian people are wonderful, but I think that touching because in Iceland we don't have that many trees. So it was like, what? Every time
just come to Norway.
Okay, yeah, I was in Norway last year, and it was like, but we were driving most of the time, and trees everywhere. I love it. Okay, before I go on to something else and start giving a dissertation about trees or singing about trees, let's get on with the podcast. So, is there a chance that people could take too much of the oil, ingest too much, or put too much on their skin? If so, how would they know that they've done this? How would they overcome it? How would they reduce the chances of that happening?
So first of all, if you have a really pure, good quality essential oil, there are less side effects or reactions to it. So like with the candles with synthetic oils, like a lot of people are allergic to that and to perfumes, but they can use the pure essential oils. So that's one thing. The quality needs to be good. Another thing is that you only need 1 drop or 2 drops at a time. You don't need 20 drops for something. Like more is not better, right? So if you just keep yourself to the few drops at a time, then it's very, very rare that there are any reactions to it. But let's say you use it directly on the skin, you put an oil on and it starts to be a little bit red. You can have some kind of reaction like that. That just means that, maybe the oil is a little bit hot, like cinnamon and oregano, they're hot on the skin, so they should always be diluted. But oils like lavender is very soothing to the skin, so it doesn't create that much, reactions. But if you do get some reaction, redness, then you can have, for example, the fractionated coconut oil or some other like base oil and just rub it on and it will soothe it down, kind of dilute it out.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you want to use it more after that, you can try it on the skin again, more diluted. And on kids, you always dilute it just to be sure. And if you get some kind of book or literature about it, then there are different like guidelines on which to use for what and which you need to blend out. So that's a good thing to have, just to make sure you're using them correctly. But if you just keep to what it says on the bottle, if it says only use, on the skin or don't use it internally, then just follow that. So then you should be safe. And if you're unsure, then stop using it and get some help from someone who knows what they're doing.
And have you ever heard of anybody being allergic to one of the oils?
Well, I don't hear it very often because the brand I use is very, very pure. But there are a few cases that I've heard with people there are a few oils that they can't use because they get a rash or something like that, and then they just don't use that. And often the reason for that reaction is that they have candida, and that creates more reactions in the body. So actually, if they do a candida cleanse and then start with the oils again, they can use many more of the oils.
Okay, and because you're also an expert in this raw food and living food, so to do a candida cleanse, would that be involving food?
Definitely, yeah. Candida, it grows on sugars and refined foods. So if you stay to like vegetables and not fruit for a while, then you help cleanse it out. But also including oils into this, like oregano and tea tree oil is helping to cleanse out those bacteria. And then you should build it up with healthy bacteria, probiotics.
Just to correct you there, to clean out the fungi and replace it with healthy bacteria.
Yeah.
Candida is a fungi.
Yeah.
Not just okay. I'm not saying you said it wrong. It's just sometimes we mean to say one word and we say another word. But
exactly.
Just so our listeners know that Candida is a fungus. It's
a fungi, and also the oils I mentioned, they cleanse out bacteria and viruses as well. Okay. So that's kind of my
of course, because we want good bacteria in our gut, but oftentimes we get bad ones as well.
Yes.
And we want rid of those guys.
Yeah.
The nasty ones. And Candida is something that I have had a problem with on and off for many years. And I used to get a medicine from the doctor that would kill everything. But it would take 1 week. But the last time I took it was maybe a year ago, and I had an adverse reaction, and my face all puffed up like a big tomato, and I had to go to the hospital. And so then they said I can never use this again. So since then I have been using natural methods and trying to avoid sugar, But now I'm on the low sugar impact diet, so hopefully I'll stick to that one. No, I will stick to that one.
Yes, you will.
But maybe if you're into raw foods and things like that, you've probably heard of it. What I've been using is a clove of garlic. And you crush it a little bit and you stick it up your vagina. And it stays there for about 2 days, and a lot of people are going like, you do what? And it's a natural way. And it works amazingly, and so whenever I have this, when it starts to get a little bit uncomfortable down there, and then I'm crushing the garlic and ripping it up. And when I said, are you not scared it'll be stuck in there and never get out? But every single time, within once it was 3 days, and it just pops out by itself, So this is like my natural method, I didn't discover it myself. I read about it somewhere, and I was so desperate because I couldn't use the medicine. I think I Googled natural ways to cure candida, and I thought, I think most people, they go, you what? But actually, when you're in a desperate need, you will try anything, and now I'm not desperate, But I would highly recommend it to anybody who doesn't want to use medicines to get rid of candida infection, is to try that. I'm not sure how you would get rid of it in the rest of the body, but for your lady parts, it's very good.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. That nature has the answers to most things. We don't always have to go to medicine, synthetic medicine, because the plants, they contain the natural medicine. So that's why many people who are not interested in using synthetic medicine, they go using essential oils because they're really powerful, or like the things that you are mentioning. It's really helpful.
When I cut up the garlic, it's very, very strong smell. Do you think that's an essential oil in the garlic?
I've never seen any garlic essential oil, so I think it's not that, it doesn't have the essential oil, but it's more like the active
ingredient or something. I'm going to Google that and find out later on. Sorry, I'm digressing again. It's what I do. It's my life. So we're coming near the end of our time. So if somebody wanted to get started with essential oils, you've mentioned quite a few today. I suppose they don't want to go out and buy like 200 different types. I don't know if there are 200 different types. Probably are. But what would you suggest that they start with if they wanted to get into essential oils? Is there a kit they can buy, or is there 2 or 3 that are the best ones? Or you're the expert. You tell us. What would you recommend?
So it depends on the problems or the symptoms or whatever you want to help your body with. So just writing down like 3 different health concerns and then looking up the things that is needed for those things would be really helpful. So let's say that would be 1 or 2 oils for each thing. That's 3 to 6 oils to start with. That's one way to get started. But what I do recommend, and the way most people get started, is buying a kit. So it can be like small size bottles or big size, depending on if you want it to last longer. But it has kind of everything you need in a healthy, medicine cabinet. Okay. So natural.
And you're offering our listeners a free 15 minutes wellness consultation. So how would people get in contact with you if they wanted to have that I presume, since if they're not in Norway, you would consulting them over Skype or some other kind of online program.
Yes, I use Skype for the 15 minutes, and we would go through exactly what you need, look up in the books that I have for which oils to use. So on Skype, and then we put together the best package and price for your needs.
Okay, and what is your email address?
So my email address is, it's my name, so Elin, ELIN, Hemnes, HEMNES, and then at gmail.com. And you write it under the...
I'll put it in the podcast notes so that people can see. And also, you have a Facebook group?
Yes, I have a Facebook group. You can search for Powerful Essential Oils, and it should pop out right there. And it's a group, so you have to ask to be part of the group. And we share some, tips and tricks and what you use different oils for. And you can ask questions there and get answers, or see what other people are asking about. So it's a nice place to be.
And your Skype name, if people wanted to contact you on Skype, what would that be?
It's also my name, so Ellen Hemnes.
Okay, and sometimes when people say that and I look up and there's like 20 people with the same name, I'm like, oh, which one? Are you the only Ellen Hemnes, or are there many?
I don't think there are many, but you just look for the one in Oslo, Norway, for example. I just added...
Oslo, Norway, that would help, yeah.
Yeah.
Narrows it down a little bit. But basically, it's better for people to contact you by your email address, and then they can give you their Skype name and you can contact them.
Yes, and we set up a time.
That would be great, setting up a time. So are there any last words that you would like to tell us about advice to give menopausal women in general about their health with the food and their essential oils and things?
Yeah, I think it's about patience. This takes time, but if you add, the good habits into your life with healthy eating, moving a little bit more, throwing out some toxic products, and just taking it step by step. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just improve a little bit all the time, and make sure that you support your body with the right nutrition and add some essential oils for the specific needs. That it will really, really help you if you give it a try.
Wonderful. So thank you very much, Ellen, for coming, and please, people, look out for her. And as usual, anything we say here on Menopause Morph is not meant to be taken as medical advice. If you want medical advice, please go to your doctor. Ask him if he advises you to use essential oils or eat healthy food. I'm sure he'll tell you, yes, eat healthy food. But anyway, that's us for today. Thank you very much, Ellen. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Menopause Morph, your time to change. If you've enjoyed the program, be sure to subscribe to the next one, and please leave a rating and review on iTunes to help us spread the message about thriving through the menopause. To get a free ebook, more menopausal resources, and to connect with Pauline, please visit www.menopausemorph.com.